The spotlight blinded me as I stood backstage, heart pounding, watching Ethan deliver his acceptance speech for the Best Actor award. His words flowed like honey, thanking everyone but me, the man who'd been his secret for 3 years. That night, under the glittering chandeliers of the Hollywood Gala, he left me with nothing but a whispered goodbye, vanishing into the crowd with his new publicist-approved girlfriend on his arm. I stumbled out into the cool Los Angeles night, the city lights blurring through my tears. My phone buzzed relentlessly with notifications, tabloids already buzzing about Ethan's straight romance. How could I have been so naive? We'd shared stolen moments in hidden hotel rooms, promises of a future where he could come out. But fame had won, and I was discarded like yesterday's script. Back in my small apartment in Silver Lake, I collapsed onto the couch, the weight of betrayal crushing me. That's when my phone rang. Not from Ethan, but from Jake, my childhood friend from back in suburban Chicago. "Hey man, I saw the news. You okay?" His voice was steady, familiar, pulling me from the edge. Jake had always been there, through awkward high school crushes and family rejections. Little did I know, this call would unravel everything I thought I knew about love. Jake flew out the next day, showing up at my door with a duffel bag, and that easy smile that hadn't changed since we were kids building forts in his backyard. "You look like hell, Alex," he said, pulling me into a hug that lingered just a second too long. We spent the afternoon walking along the Venice Beach boardwalk, the ocean waves crashing like my turbulent thoughts. I poured out the story, how Ethan and I met at a casting call, how our chemistry sparked into something real, but hidden. Jake listened without judgment, his blue eyes steady on the horizon. As the sun dipped low, painting the sky in oranges and pinks, Jake turned to me. "You deserve better than hiding in shadows, Alex. Remember when we were teens, and you came out to me first? I told you I'd always have your back." His words stirred something deep, a warmth I'd long buried under the glamour of Hollywood. That evening, over takeout tacos in my living room, we laughed about old times. Sneaking beers at prom, defending each other from bullies who called us fags, just for being close friends. But as night fell, the conversation shifted. "Why'd you stay with him so long?" Jake asked, his tone gentle but probing. I shrugged, admitting the fear of being alone in a city that chewed up dreamers like me. Jake's hand brushed mine, and for the first time, I noticed the spark. Was it grief talking or something more? We crashed early, him on the couch, me in bed, but sleep evaded me, thoughts swirling between Ethan's betrayal and Jake's unwavering presence. The next morning, over coffee, Jake suggested we escape the city. "Let's drive up to Big Sur. Clear your head." I agreed, craving distance from the paparazzi shadows. As we wound along the Pacific Coast Highway, the rugged cliffs mirroring my jagged emotions, Jake opened up about his own life. He'd left Chicago for Seattle, building a quiet career in graphic design, but he'd never settled down. "Relationships are tricky," he said, glancing at me, "especially when society's got its rules." We stopped at a viewpoint, the wind whipping our hair. "You know, Alex, I've always admired how you chased your dreams out here, but seeing you hurt like this, it kills me." His voice cracked, and in that moment, under the vast sky, he leaned in, our foreheads touching. It wasn't a kiss, not yet, but a confession hung in the air. Back on the road, silence settled, charged with unspoken questions. Was this rebound, or had Jake been waiting all these years? Arriving at a cozy cabin we'd rented, the tension built. Over a fire-cooked dinner, Jake admitted he'd questioned his sexuality in college, dated a few guys quietly, but never pursued anything serious. "I didn't want to complicate our friendship," he said, eyes meeting mine. My heart raced. Ethan had been passion and secrecy, but Jake was comfort and truth. As stars blanketed the sky, we talked until dawn, peeling back layers of our shared history. The drive back to LA felt different, lighter yet heavier with possibility. But reality crashed in when we returned. Ethan's face plastered on billboards, his coming out, as straight in interviews. Friends texted condolences, but whispers of my obsession with him spread through industry circles. At a networking event that week, a producer pulled me aside. "Tough break, kid. But maybe lay low. Hollywood's not ready for your kind of drama." Jake overheard, his jaw tightening. "Screw them," he muttered later. "You're talented, Alex. Don't let bigots define you." His protectiveness ignited debates between us. Should I fight for visibility or protect my career? That night, as rain pattered on the windows, Jake pulled me close. Our first kiss was tentative, born of years of unspoken affection. It felt right, but guilt gnawed. Was I using him to heal? The following weeks blurred into a whirlwind. Jake extended his stay, working remotely from my apartment, his presence a balm against the isolation. We explored LA together, hiking in Griffith Park, where the Hollywood sign loomed like a mocking reminder of Ethan. Up there, overlooking the sprawl, Jake took my hand. "This city's full of illusions, but what we have, it's real." His words challenged my cynicism, but doubts lingered. What if this was just comfort, not love? Social conflicts erupted soon after. My conservative family back in Chicago caught wind of the breakup via gossip sites. Mom called, her voice laced with concern. "Alex, honey, maybe it's for the best. Ethan's a star. People like him need to fit in." Her words stung, echoing the homophobia I'd fled. When I mentioned Jake staying over, she paused. "Your friend from school? That's nice. But be careful, dear. You don't want to confuse things." Jake's family was different, supportive, but his dad, a retired cop, had old-school views. Over a video call, he joked, "So, you two finally figuring it out?" Jake laughed it off, but later confessed the strain. "Dad means well, but he doesn't get it. Thinks being gay's a phase." These family dynamics fueled arguments. Me pushing for openness, Jake advocating caution. "Not everyone's ready, Alex. Look what happened with Ethan." Professionally, the fallout intensified. Auditions dried up. Agents whispered I was too controversial. At a queer film festival, I ran into Ethan. He pulled me aside, eyes pleading. "Alex, I had to. The studio threatened my contract." His excuses rang hollow. "You chose fame over us," I spat, walking away. Jake waited outside, his embrace steadying me. But that encounter sparked jealousy, Jake questioning if I was over Ethan. One evening, over wine, it boiled over. "Do you still love him?" Jake demanded. I hesitated, admitting residual hurt. "But you're here now," I said. He stormed out, leaving me reeling. Hours later, he returned, apologetic. "I can't compete with a ghost, Alex. But I'm not walking away." We reconciled, but the crack showed, trust issues from my past bleeding into our present. As our relationship deepened, societal pressures mounted. At a Pride event in West Hollywood, we held hands publicly for the first time. Cheers surrounded us, but stares from passers-by reminded me of the divide. A heckler shouted slurs, shattering the joy. Jake pulled me away, but the incident lingered. "Is this worth it?" he asked later. "Fighting every day?" I nodded, but inside, fear grew. Could love survive constant battles? Friends' reactions varied. My best buddy from acting class, Mia, cheered us on. "Finally! Jake's perfect for you." But others, tied to Ethan's circle, distanced themselves. One accused me of rebounding too fast, igniting rumors. Online, trolls dissected my life. Posts debating if I turned Jake straight, or vice versa. The irony burned. Society accepting gay stars only if they fit neat boxes. Amid the chaos, tender moments anchored us. A weekend in San Francisco, wandering the Castro district, felt like freedom. We visited the LGBT Historical Society, stories of past struggles mirroring ours. "We're part of this legacy," Jake said, kissing me under rainbow flags. But back home, reality intruded. A job offer for Jake in Seattle, forcing a choice. Stay with me, or return to stability. The decision loomed, heightening tensions. "I can't ask you to uproot your life," I said. He countered, "and I can't leave you here alone." Our debates turned heated, exposing vulnerabilities, my abandonment fears, his need for security. One night, after a fight, I scrolled through old photos with Ethan, tears flowing. Jake found me, holding me silently. "We'll figure it out," he whispered. As summer faded, Ethan's scandal broke. Leaked messages exposing his hypocrisy. Media frenzy ensued, vindicating me but reopening wounds. Reporters hounded me for comments. Jake shielded me, but the stress strained us. "This isn't healthy," he admitted. Yet, in quiet moments, our bond strengthened. Cooking meals, sharing dreams, building a future beyond the drama. Fall brought crisp air and mounting pressure. Jake's job deadline approached, and we danced around the elephant in the room. Mornings started with coffee and kisses, but evenings ended in hushed discussions. "What if I move here?" he proposed one day, browsing LA apartments online. Excitement flared, but realism tempered it. My unstable acting gigs couldn't support us both. Family interventions escalated. My sister flew in, ostensibly for support, but her words cut deep. "Jake's great, but is this real, or just post-breakup fog? Mom worries you're rushing." Her skepticism echoed my own doubts, sparking a rift. Jake overheard, confronting her. "This isn't a phase. I love him." The declaration hung, raw and unfiltered. Later, alone, he confessed, "I meant it, Alex. But are you ready?" Societal clashes peaked at a Thanksgiving gathering with mutual friends in the Valley. Amid turkey and laughter, politics surfaced, debates on marriage equality, adoption rights for gay couples. One guest, a conservative acquaintance, argued, "Kids need a mom and dad. It's biology." Jake bristled, sharing stories of queer families thriving. I joined in, but the tension soured the night. Driving home, we vented, "How can people still think like that in 2026? The argument evolved into personal territory. "Do you want kids someday?" Jake asked. I paused. Ethan had dismissed the idea, but with Jake it felt possible. "Maybe," I admitted. His smile lit the car, but fears of discrimination loomed. Online forums buzzed with similar debates, fueling our late-night talks. "Society's progressing, but not fast enough," Jake sighed. Professionally, a breakthrough came, a role in an indie film about queer resilience. The director praised my authenticity, but the script mirrored my life too closely, stirring emotions. On set, I confided in a co-star about Jake. "Sounds like the real deal," he said, but doubts persisted. Rehearsals reminded me of Ethan's charm, questioning if Jake was enough. A weekend getaway to Napa Valley aimed to reconnect. Vineyards stretched endlessly, wine tastings loosening tongues. Under a harvest moon, Jake proposed we make it official, boyfriends, labels and all. "I want the world to know," he said. Tears welled. I said yes. But the next day, a call from his boss. The Seattle position was non-negotiable. "Remote isn't an option," he relayed, deflated. The drive back was silent, options weighing heavy. "Long distance," I suggested. He shook his head. "I've seen it fail too many times." Alternatives swirled, me moving north, but my career tied me to LA. Friends advised compromise, but pride clashed. One night, frustration boiled. "You're choosing work over us," I accused. Jake retorted, "And you're clinging to a city that broke you." Reconciliation came slowly. A therapy session, suggested by Mia, helped unpack baggage. My trust issues from Ethan, Jake's fear of rejection from his past flings. "Love requires sacrifice," the counselor said. We emerged hopeful, but the clock ticked. Ethan's reappearance complicated things. An apologetic email, offering closure. I met him at a neutral cafe, Jake's blessing reluctant. Ethan looked haggard, fame's toll evident. "I regret everything," he said. Temptation flickered, old sparks, but Jake's face flashed. "It's too late," I replied, walking away empowered. Telling Jake, relief washed over us. "I'm done with ghosts," I declared. He pulled me close, our embrace fierce. As December neared, a compromise emerged. Jake negotiating a transfer to LA's branch. Excitement built, but hurdles remained. Visa issues for his Canadian roots? No, he was American-born. Wait, family pushback intensified. His mom called, supportive but cautious. Are you sure about uprooting for him? Doubts seeded again. Holiday lights twinkled, mirroring our fragile hope. At a New Year's party, we toasted possibilities. But a drunken guest outed us to a gossip blogger, sparking online backlash. Hashtags trended, Hollywood heartbreak, debates on rebound relationships. Is Alex using Jake? Posts read. The scrutiny tested us, but solidarity grew. Winter's chill settled over LA, mirroring the cooling in our relationship under external pressures. Jake's transfer hit snags, bureaucratic red tape delaying his move. Video calls bridged the gap after he returned to Seattle temporarily, but pixels couldn't replace touch. I miss you became our mantra, laced with frustration. Social media amplified conflicts. A viral thread dissected our story. Anonymous accounts claiming I manipulated Jake, painting me as the villain post-Ethan. Supporters countered, but the noise drowned reason. Jake urged ignoring it. Trolls thrive on reaction, but when a death threat slid into my DMs, fear escalated. Reporting it to authorities, we questioned visibility's cost. Family holidays highlighted divides. Christmas with my folks via Zoom, awkward toasts, veiled comments on lifestyle choices. Jake's presence on screen softened blows, but his absence ached. His family gathering included me virtually, warm but probing questions on our future. When's the wedding? His aunt joked, igniting real discussions. Someday, Jake whispered later. Career highs and lows intertwined. My indie film wrapped, buzz building for festivals. But auditions still lagged, agents citing image issues. Jake's designs gained traction. A gallery show in Seattle pulling him further. Come visit, he pleaded. I flew up, the rainy city a stark contrast to sunny LA. Walking Pike Place Market, hand in hand, felt normal. Fewer stares, more acceptance. But during the show, an old flame of Jake's appeared, flirting shamelessly. Jealousy surged, echoing Ethan's betrayal. Who was that? I demanded later. Jake dismissed it. Ancient history. The fight escalated, unearthing insecurities. You think I'd cheat? He yelled. Reconciliation in a cozy Airbnb? But trust frayed. Back in LA, solitude amplified doubts. Mia hosted a support group for queer artists, where stories of discrimination resonated. One shared losing a partner to societal pressure, mirroring our fears. Inspired, I pitched a screenplay based on our journey, channeling pain into art. Jake encouraged it remotely, but distance bred miscommunications. A turning point came mid-February. Jake's transfer approved. Joy exploded, plans for cohabitation rushing forward. But arrival coincided with my film's premiere at Sundance. There, critics raved, but a panel discussion turned contentious. Debates on authentic queer representation. A heckler accused the film of promoting agendas. Jake, in the audience, stood up. Love isn't an agenda, it's human. The moment went viral, polarizing opinions. Supporters hailed his bravery. Critics labeled us attention seekers. Interviews followed, forcing us to navigate media minefields. How do you handle backlash? A reporter asked. Jake replied, together. But privately, exhaustion mounted. Is this our life now? Constant defense? I wondered. Spring brought renewal attempts. We settled into a new apartment in Echo Park, decorating with shared mementos. Quiet evenings countered chaos. Cooking Italian, watching sunsets. But conflicts persisted. Jake's homesickness for Seattle, my immersion in Hollywood. A therapy revisit helped, emphasizing communication. Ethan's final intrusion. A lawsuit threat over defamatory script elements resembling him. Lawyers advised settling, but I refused. Truth wasn't libel. Jake supported, but stress strained us. Fight it, he urged. The case dropped, but victory felt pyrrhic, energy drained. As summer approached, a major opportunity arose. A network series role for me, requiring relocation to New York temporarily. Irony struck. Now I faced the choice Jake had. Go, he said, masking hurt. Debates reignited sacrifice versus self. We can make long-distance work, I insisted. He doubted, memories of separation fresh. The decision loomed, high stakes. Friends weighed in. Some urged pursuit of dreams, others prioritized love. Online polls debated, career or relationship? The discourse highlighted societal expectations on gay men, balancing ambition with partnership, often at greater cost than straight counterparts. In a heartfelt talk, tears flowed. I don't want to lose you, Jake admitted. I echoed, proposing compromise. Weekends in New York, him joining when possible. Acceptance dawned, but uncertainty lingered. Filming in New York began, the city's energy a double-edged sword, exhilarating yet isolating. Jake visited often, our reunions passionate reminders of why we fought. But absences amplified small issues. Missed calls, misinterpreted texts. You're distant, he accused during one visit. I blamed the schedule, but truth was, the role consumed me, echoing Ethan's fame chase. Social undercurrents surged. The series, a queer drama, sparked protests. Conservative groups boycotting, claiming it corrupted youth. Counter-protests supported, but threats escalated. Security on set, Jake worrying from afar. Come home, he pleaded. I persisted, driven by representation's importance. Personal growth intertwined with turmoil. Therapy solo helped unpack abandonment fears, realizing Jake wasn't Ethan. He, too, reflected, admitting past hesitance stemmed from internalized homophobia. Video sessions bridged gaps, strengthening resolve. A mid-season break allowed escape to the Hamptons. Beach walks, honest talks. We've survived worse, Jake said. Intimacy deepened, not physical but emotional, sharing vulnerabilities. But returning to set, a co-star's flirtation tested boundaries. I rebuffed, but guilt prompted confession. Jake forgave, but trust rebuilt slowly. As the series wrapped, acclaim poured in, Emmy buzz, interviews probing my life. How has your relationship influenced your work? One asked. I credited Jake, sparking more debates. Was our story exploitative? Online, threads argued pros/cons of public queer relationships. Home in LA, readjustment challenged. Jake's career flourished, a promotion demanding travel. Roles reversed, jealousy flickered. You're always gone, I complained. He countered. Like you were. Compromise. Joint trips. Balancing acts. Family reconciliation glimmered. A Chicago visit, introducing Jake officially. Mom hugged him, whispering approval. His family reciprocated. Dads bonding over sports despite differences. Acceptance wasn't perfect, but progress healed old wounds. Yet, societal battles persisted. A ballot measure on LGBTQ+ rights divided the nation. Protests in streets. We marched, hands linked, facing counter-demonstrators' vitriol. This is our reality, Jake said, resolve stealing. The experience bonded us, but exhaustion questioned endurance. Climax built with a proposal, not marriage but commitment. Co-authoring a book on our journey. To inspire others, Jake suggested. Writing unearthed buried tensions, differing perspectives on events. Arguments flared. You minimized my pain, but collaboration fostered understanding, turning conflict into catharsis. Publication loomed, previews sparking controversy. Reviews praised authenticity. Critics decried oversharing. Launch event in LA, Ethan spotted in the crowd, closure full circle. He approached, congratulating. You found real love. I nodded, Jake by my side. As the dust settled, peace descended. Evenings on our balcony, reflecting. Love wasn't easy, but worth the fight. Highs and lows wove a tapestry richer than illusion. In the end, after navigating betrayal, societal scorn, and personal demons, we stood stronger. But one question lingers. Is it true that society's prejudices ultimately strengthen queer relationships, or do they irreparably damage them?